they're so big. Ever thought that maybe it's you who's out of proportion, Gary? Back off.
Actually felt really sweet. Actually came.
Somebody else on promise. I clearly don't because I can't. I could say it to them, but I don't think No, I clearly don't but I clearly But then that makes me wonder, can I really, or am I just like faking it? Am I just saying Well, and he thinks that the biggest thing for me is that he feels that there is like where I don't feel I'm enough or anything. I struggle with I'm not this area. But I can tell you that I wish I could do that.
Right?
I'm gonna run through it really quick. I just And I was like, no, he'll never forgive me. I'll ask Leslie. His last week for the wedding. You're not my last one. Heartbeat, but you don't like my t-shirt, so. Okay, fine.
Flip the switch. Neither of us can see it, so just flip it.
All right, you ready? Come on, have a seat. I got to put a little southern drawl on for this speaker. Oh, boy. So I asked Gina to speak. Yeah. And no, I won't say that. Yeah, she actually said yes, and she was excited. She was in South Africa, and I told her I saw so many really good things that she's so shy sometimes, but that's just times, so she can be kind of loud. I could tell you some stories about Gina Burris, but I won't. I'll let her tell her stories about herself. But I love Gina. I've known these guys for a long time, and I told her I wanted to hear what she had to say. I wanted to see what's inside her in more public arena instead of just quiet. We have to kind of like the deals that Mark and Steve and I have. We don't correct our own wives, but we allow them to correct. Isn't that true? That's like, I'll never call out my wife in public because I got to sleep with her, like she says. Sometimes you're going to have to close your eyes. But Mark can call her down. It's like, you need to stop that crap, Okay,
I haven't needed to talk to you.
Did Randy give you the notes yet?
The updated one's not yet.
the updated version. So anyway, come on up, Gina.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Intimidating. Okay. Hello. So, y'all are making this a lot easier, actually.
Good.
So yes, when Randy asked me, I have to admit, I obviously was very nervous, but I was also excited because I am excited to give you a little bit of me. So I also want to give fear another black eye. So here I go.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So what I'm going to talk about is my journey in finding me, who he created me to be, and being okay with that. So a little bit of my background. I was raised Methodist, and fast forward, married Steve. We later, he drugged me to a Pentecostal church, and
He's been sorry ever since.
yeah. So I don't know if you have any experience with either of those, but Methodist, you don't talk, you don't raise your hand, anything. Pentecostal is wild. So I've always been shy, and I don't like to be up front. So I started comparing myself to people. I saw a lot of people, that were singing, interpreting tongues, all that crazy stuff that I saw. So I fell into that darkness of comparing myself, never feeling good enough, and just felt defeated all the time. And it was a place I honestly felt like I'll never come out of. And so I started focusing on the spiritual gifts because I felt like if I found out what that was, then I can be up front too, and I can get the approval of people. and I let my relationship with the Lord go neglected, and I wasn't focusing on His approval. So, and I would talk to Steve about this, and he would help me through the struggle, and I would be okay for a while until it wasn't, and then he would do it again, and then again, and again, and on and on. And so I have to change version. So, leaving out a lot of details, fast forward to we start coming here, and actually during the first Koinonia, I can still see it so fresh in my mind. It was during worship, and the Lord showed me there was like a whirlwind that came in, and it came and it encompassed everybody in this whirlwind, and it just went up, and it went up to Him, and it took every single person from the smallest to the oldest, to everyone, and no one was excluded. And so that just started me on my journey of, you know what, I am somebody, I am important. And so then people started giving me words like, my first SOS, there was a girl came up to me and she was like, you know, I know you don't say a lot, but I'm just sitting here beside of you, and I just feel so much hope just sitting beside you. And I was like, okay, that's crazy. But then people just started giving me words like that, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, Lord, it cannot be this easy. I can't be the lucky one, you know, that it's that easy. But then He just gave me this revelation of, you know what, it is that easy, because that's who He created me to be. It's supposed to be that easy. It's natural. And trying to be someone else, that is what is exhausting and wears you out. And so that was so freeing for me. And so I decided to start this journey, and I was going to try to start being more open and present no matter where I was. Whether I opened my mouth or not, I was going to open my heart and just be. And, you know, if I stood up to do this, or if I gave a word, fine. And if I didn't, fine. I was going to be okay with that. I mean, I still struggled at times and still put a lot of pressure on myself. But there's, like, I've even experienced, like, out in a store, I don't know, maybe it's discernment, but I can just see someone and I know that all they might need is just someone to smile at them today. And I will do that, and I just can't tell you the feeling I get from that. It's just like, I know it's the Lord, because I was being me, and I was giving them me. And it's just been so freeing for me. And so then we were in South Africa, and I decided, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to do this. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be present. And so I tried to be present in every situation. I didn't do a lot of the ministry that we did, but there was connections and communications, mostly on individual basis. There might be one or two, but I knew it was the Lord. I just knew, and I had that feeling. And so it was funny when I got back home, I would just be, well, let me say this first. So I think it was our last day. We went into the store and we were buying last minute souvenirs, and I walked into the store and I saw this shirt that said Roar, and it was like the Lord started speaking to me about my roar. It may not sound like anyone else's, but it's mine in the kingdom. And I wanted to buy it, but I'm like, well, I won't. So I went on to do other things, and so the other guys were in line checking out, and I walked up, and Randy just looked at me, and he just pointed to that shirt, and I'm like, what? And he's like, you know what? And so I just went right back over there and got it, and said, this is my shirt. So when I got back home, I would just be randomly doing things around the house, and the Lord would start talking to me about, when you're speaking, I want you to say this. And I'm like, when I'm speaking, what are you talking about? So I kind of had a feeling this might happen. But a while back, someone gave me a word that the Lord deals with me very gently. So he was preparing me for this. Thank you, Lord. So I totally didn't freak out. But so I started reflecting back on the trip, and it was just an amazing trip all the way around, And like each time that I felt the little things that I did on that trip, I just felt like the Lord was saying, there you are. And even though maybe no one else was seeing it, there I was. So, So I am just standing here, and I'm saying, and I'm telling all of you now that I'm confident in who I am. And I honestly didn't think I would ever get to that place. And it was honestly on this trip and after I got back that I realized that I could say that now. And it's amazing that just being confident in that has opened me up to so many different things. Like I was just telling Leslie yesterday, we've been so blessed to be able to stay with them for most of the Koinonias. And when we first started staying there, I would do things to avoid other people in the house just so I didn't have to talk to people. And I don't do that anymore. It's like I come in now and I look for people to talk to. And I think I even apologized to someone Thursday for talking too much, So, I know, it's crazy. And you guys, I want you all to know that you are such a big part of it because, just the few of you who knew I was going to be doing this, I can't tell you the encouragement that I've gotten from everybody. It's like, and I told Steve before I came, I'm like, I know I'm nervous, but it's not going to be bad because I know those people are with me. They love me, and they're with me. And it's just been really amazing, and I actually want to thank you for asking me to do this. So, because it's just been really amazing. And I want to just encourage all of you to just be okay with who you are, even if you think it might not look like you think it should or like someone else. Actually, there's this quote I came across, and I want to end with this. I just couldn't stop reading it. And it is a quote from Martha Graham, who is a famous American dancer and choreographer. And it was to Agnes DeMille, who was also a dancer and a choreographer. And she was feeling inadequate in what she was doing. And this is what she said. There is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium, and it will be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable, nor how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. I'll read it again very slowly. Okay. There is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium, and it will be lost. The world will not have it. It's not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable, nor how it compares to any other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours clearly and directly, and to keep the channel open.
So how many in the room, what she read twice touched you? See that? So for the remainder of your time, how about I ask you some questions? She said, if you tell me to prophesy something, I'll kill you. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me, because you know I will. I am Gina's tormentor, her personal tormentor. I wasn't looking for your permission, actually. So, the struggle of you finding yourself, if you can share with us why it was so hard, because other people would come to you, like me, like my wife, like many other people, and tell you what we saw. Why was it such a struggle for you to see it in yourself?
I think it was the comparing thing. And I think it was because I was looking for, well, I guess because I did not actually know what value was. You know, and I thought because I wasn't like a teacher, or, you know, I didn't do something out front for people to see, I didn't value what was inside of me. And so I guess it was really hard for me to see that other people actually saw that. And it's not that I didn't believe you. I guess maybe I just thought, well, you see it in there and one day it might come out, but I don't, you know, I will never, I still was thinking maybe one day that you would see one day I will be up teaching, or I'll be up doing something. You know, I still had that focus on, I have to be up front doing something for everybody to see. And, does that make sense?
Yeah. So this trip we were just on together, I don't remember you ever grabbing the microphone, but it was the most calm and confident I've probably ever seen you. Simply because I think a lot of these things in your heart were settled. And you're like, I can sit here and just talk to people and be totally at peace and at home and know I have just as much value as my husband does if he's up in the front. And that's the place I think most of us, or if not all of us, need to get to, where we don't attach our value with something as silly as a microphone. It just happens to be the person that has the microphone. There's a lot of really fake people with a microphone. I mean, just saying it plain. Or people that don't have this solved inside that have the microphone. Like even what you were saying, it's fake ministry. And when we talk about the whole conduit issue, that to me is fake ministry, because we have not gone through what we need to see the value of what we have. We have a false identity of ourselves as being, I'm only a conduit, instead of I'm a Gina Burris. And whether I say something or not, I still have the same amount of value. So why were you so confident on this trip? Do you have like something that snapped inside, or something that changed inside, or was it a long process, or was it just a thought that changed, or what?
I think it was just a long process that just may have came together on that trip, and I didn't even realize it until after the trip, actually. I remember being so calm on the trip and saying, I'm not going to worry about, you know, what I do or don't do. I'm just going to be, you know, just going to be present. And then it was after I got home I realized, wow, that happened, you know? And I was okay. It was just really, and it amazes me that I can stand here and say that. Because for so long, I mean, I thought I would never be able to say that. And it's so freeing. And if you think you'll never be able to say that, you will. You will. You will. And it will open you up in so many areas. You won't be afraid anymore. I mean, the possibilities will be endless. You'll start seeing your dreams come to pass. And it'll just be amazing what you see the Lord doing. He's so kind. And and he's so loving. And I think that this teaching that we've, been going through for so long and coming out of that old mindset, and he loves us so much. And he's so kind. Just all that together, it just all came together.
So for me, when I see Gina, it looks to me like the fruit of what the Lord's been doing for years. To see somebody who actually realizes who they are, and they don't stand up in the pulpit and have a microphone. Because very few of us actually have this opportunity. It's not like it's a sacred thing or it's a hallowed thing or whatever. It's just that it's not necessary because it's not where ministry really comes from. So if you have to have this to be in ministry, that's so stupid to think that way. Some of the greatest things I see, you are with your grandson and with your husband or with your friends. But there's also a place, where you have people around you, like myself. I'm proud to be one of your tormentors over the years. No, you do have to have people if you're in relationship that will push you. And then for you not to reject it. As you're talking about, let's be real. She was so intimidated by me, and I'm a nice guy. And I was like, why are you so intimidated by me? You just scare me. But there has to be this, okay, if he says something that I think is harsh, I'm going to accept it. And I know that he's doing it because he loves me to bring me out of my shell and my fear and my intimidation. And she knew for a long time, you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is who I am really inside, but I don't want it. I'm not courageous enough to bring it out on my own. Is that true or no? So I would put her, and I know many other people have done this too, I would put her in situations that would help her. I can say it that way. Help her. I remember one time I said something. I told her to do something that she needed to do. We were in Ukraine. And later she told Steve, I don't give a damn what Randy Strombeck says. I ain't doing that. Just cracked me up. But it was the right thing to do because it was bringing up some really painful stuff that you had to address inside yourself in order to get to the place you are today. And so I'd like for you to pray for everybody that's still in fear and is still intimidated, not even by a person, maybe even by themselves. And just whatever else the Lord, puts on your heart that you want to pray over us, because there are still people that are in the boat that you were in. Is that all right?
So, Lord, I thank you for your love and your kindness. I love that you see us exactly where we are in every moment of every day. and that you meet us there. Lord, I ask you to meet every person in this building where they are right now. You hear their heart. You give them the courage and the strength to overcome whatever it is they need to overcome at this moment. To get to the point that they can say they're confident and they know who you created them to be. We thank you for every person here and the person that they are, and then what they're discovering about themselves. Because it's beautiful. Because it reflects you. Help them to discover the uniqueness that you've put in them and be okay with it. Lord, I ask you to help us to see each other and encourage them along the way as they go through this discovery process. Encouragement means so much. And I just thank you for the beauty that you're going to bring out of each person here. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
One of the ways that I'm able to see when the Lord's really done a work in somebody is when they take the microphone. I've always seen the microphone as like a mirror that tends to reveal where people really are. And oftentimes when someone takes the microphone or is given the microphone, like I sense striving, like a striving to give people what we think they want. And I don't sense an ounce of that in you at all. And to be honest with you, I was wondering if we would, and there's none. There's this complete peace and like this solid state confidence. I'm Gina, and I'm only gonna give you Gina. I'm not gonna try to be someone else. So I just want to tell you, the mirror image is beautiful. It's not you trying to be somebody else that we think you should be. You're really being who Martha just said. And I'm really thankful because that's none of us. It's you. So I honor you because this is not something you do very often, so you'd think you might try to take the opportunity to do that, and you didn't. You were just you today. And I hope us all, I want to say I learned today to be a little bit more at rest with just being Mark when I hold this. This doesn't turn me into a different person. This is just meant to reveal who I am. And you did that today. So thank you. You showed extreme maturity. I think so. I'm really proud of you.
One word, we did a video session yesterday in Chuck's office. We haven't put it out yet. And one word that came out was this word, remain. We were talking about what family looks like. And that was kind of one of the foundational things that we were talking about. And this is like a picture of what remain looks like. Like after we would say things to help her or whatever, she never rejected what we were saying. And she tried. She ran away. She sure wanted to. But when the Lord has this process going on in your life, it's really important to remain there and let him do his work and participate in it, not just allow it, but actually participate in it. So she had the choice, am I going to participate in this, or am I just going to remain, suffering under this hand? We never had, ill intent, but I know I know her well enough, I could pick at her. And she would be like, oh. But it never caused her to, totally run away from us, even though she was intimidated or whatever. But if you love somebody, starting with yourself, you'll remain no matter what's going on. And the Lord will restore everything that was lost, even as a child. And will restore even the things that were like preconceived in your mind about what ministry looks like and what freedom looks like. Because freedom doesn't look the same to everybody. Freedom's not real, not this formula for everybody. So free can be totally quiet. Freedom comes from within and it's manifested out. And it can be loud or it can be soft, it can be anything. But if you're really free, part of that process that we're going through is learning what freedom really is. It's not an external thing, it's an internal thing that the Lord's doing in us. And so I'm thankful that you're, on your process still, but you're way on the other side. And you'll still have things that come up from time to time. But you just decide, I'm going to keep going down that road. I know I'm on the right road, and I know who I am. I know who he made me. And I'm just going to keep trekking. I'm not going to get off of it. And just kind of dogged determination to stay on that really good road.
Amanda, one time you sent Steve and I a word, and I think it was more, but one word to me was thank you for staying. And I may have sent you a note back, but you don't know how that meant to me, because with my process, how many times I wanted to not stay. And when you sent that to me, it meant the world to me. And so that's a word too for everybody. Just stay. Go to break.
Hey, Maddie, what time do you want us back? Okay, 1:30, back here, all right?
don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. Oh no. Yeah. Aaron's been feeling a little under the weather. Touch your phone again. Touch your phone. You should say don't touch that. Here's my sympathy. I'm sorry. Well, you're a man, so I'm going to gauge it.
But in my defense, of course, they don't get it.
Hi, Yura. Yes. So it's hard. For you. Like you whine about it, but you're down. Very flat. Very false. There you go. Justify away. It's hilarious. It's so true. I'm like, so awesome. And it has so much juice on it. I can't remember. I'm like, he's like, I am not sick. I am not sick. I'm well. I'm good. But I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it. Listening to it was something about like going forward. Yes. Okay. Hang on. That's awesome that you remembered that because I literally was like,
Actually, when they were in concert, the entire time they were on stage, and I had no idea anything about it. But it was the Lord the entire time. I mean, I was just like, it was like worship. Every song was like worship. You know,
how it's a
you know, we've seen Word Here's a News. Yeah, one of the song he sings.
Oh, okay. I can't remember.
I can't find this feeling. I hear REO Speedway.
Yes.
Look, I was telling them when we saw them in concert, it was like I was in worship the whole time. It was nuts. I was like, oh, I can't believe this.
Yes. They really did. Like, I'm going to type it up.
It actually, I heard them coming through like an internet.
Refrigerator worthy. Right next door to our car.
So who lost one of them?
Singers like sing everything. And Jim.
Jim and them already gone.
Yeah, because Jim was asking me. I was like,